Hi guys, my name is Jason. I'm an NLP trainer and NLP master practitioner and also a certified hypnotherapist. And today I want to talk to you about anxiety and what causes anxiety, why we get anxious, how we deal with anxiety ultimately, and what it's all about. So, have you ever had a time in your life where something was coming up and you wasn't quite sure about what the outcome was going to be, and you managed to talk yourself into a state of panic, worry, or anxiety? I know I have. And I know that it can be very frustrating, very, very annoying, and very upsetting as well at the same time. So, in this session, we're going to talk about why we get anxious, what we can do to stop it in the first place, and what we can do to overcome it if we get to it. So, first of all, what is the question of anxiety? What is anxiety? Where does it come from? So, we can all choose what we want in life, and we will choose our path to follow. Anxiety is literally a case of just choosing unconsciously the path which is all the worry, all the fear, and all the bad things that could possibly go wrong. So we could quite equally choose all the good things that could happen, and yet we default to a lot of the time to what could go wrong. So we could lose our job, we could become employed, we could lose the house, we could. And all of these coulds are obviously possible. But the flip of that is everything that could go right. We could get promotion, we could get pay rise, we could live debt free, we could live happy lives, we could strive, we could thrive, we could become better versions of ourselves. And yet, anxiety is a funny, funny bag because you can only be anxious about things that haven't happened yet. So let me challenge you with this question quickly. If you've passed your driving test already, have you got any anxiety now about passing your driving test? Well, the answer has to be no because you've already passed the test. However, if, for example, you were moving house in a few weeks' time, then yeah, you may have some anxiety in and around those issues, that issue of moving, because things may go wrong, the van might be late, or things might get damaged or broken, or any number of things could go wrong. But what if? What if things went right instead? What if things were absolutely perfectly swimmingly well and the move was seamless and absolutely a pleasure? That would be an interesting thought, wouldn't it? So let's just assume for a second that you are moving and you have got anxiety about this event. We've already discussed that you can only have anxiety moving forward in time. So if you imagine the notion of a timeline, we have a past, we have a future, we're moving from this place to this place. And in NLP, we talk about the present to desired state. And the question we ask there is, where am I and where do I want to go? Not in terms of moving house, but in terms of my life generally. So I'm currently at this position here, and I want to move forward to that position there, my desired state. And with the desired state, we'll need a whole load of resources to be changed, and there'll be different criteria that needs to be met. So that all makes perfect sense. With the current situation I'm in, I've got these problems and these resources. With the situation I want to be in, I need to have these current resources and less problems or fewer problems. So that's cool. We can work on that. But what if we were to able to float ourselves through time and space, and we're always moving through time and moving forwards through time? But if we could move ourselves to a point in time beyond the event that's causing us anxiety, we'd notice a strange phenomenon happen. The anxiety disappears because we've already discussed that you can only be anxious of things that are yet to happen. And as far as our neurology is concerned, as far as our bodies are concerned, and our unconscious mind is concerned, if we take ourselves past the event of worry, past the event of anxiety, it's already happened. So therefore, there's no possible way of being anxious about that event anymore. So how does that help you right now then, feeling anxious about moving house? Well, what you do is you can float yourself along your timeline past the event of moving. When you've successfully done the move, you can then look back to the present moment right now. And you can look at that moment with the sense of accomplishment and achievement from that new lens, from those new eyes, from that new perspective. It's a very interesting take. And you notice all the obstacles you had to overcome to get there. And notice that they seem much, much smaller as you do this exact thing. And in a moment, I'm going to walk you through this process in detail, in step by step form. How to beat your anxiety, how to get over the problem, and how you feel differently. So, who's up for a quick game of let's beat the anxiety? Okay, so I want you to sit with your feet firmly on the floor and relax just for a moment. It's a very relaxing exercise, and it's all done in the mind. There's no need to move or worry or panic or stress. That's not the point of the exercise. It's very experiential. So what you need to do is, can you think of a specific time in the near future that may be causing you some sort of anxiety or worry, some sort of fear or stress around this problem that is going to come up, this event that's going to happen, that could have two outcomes, a positive one and a negative one, and you're defaulting towards the negative issue. Okay. So as you look at that point in the future now, notice how it feels in your body and where you feel that sensation, where they start from, where they move towards, and what direction are they moving in. Okay, you may also notice there's a colour, a sensation to it, and all these other things. So now, imagine in a timeline. So the timeline is from the beginning of your life all the way through to the end of your life and beyond. And you know exactly where you are on your timeline now. So what I want you to do is take a piece of rope, an imaginary piece of rope, and tie it to your timeline and affix the other end to a helium balloon, big helium balloon. And I want you to allow the helium balloon to pull yourself up into the air, really high up, so that you can see the entire timeline from the beginning all the way through to the end. When you're all the way up there and you can see your time divided into little segments and little blocks, I want you to notice that in future, looking down there, there is the event that's going to happen soon. So very casually and very gently drift forward through space and through time to a point that's about 20 minutes or so after having completed the event successfully. So drift yourself forwards through time, through space, floating and drifting on the breeze of the balloon all the way. And now as an observer, way up there on your timeline, looking down at your timeline, look at the slot of success where you've passed that event. And I want you to take any notes from that viewpoint. What do you see? What do you observe? What do you hear? What do you feel from that viewpoint? You're an observer of your own life all the way down there. And there probably won't be many emotions attached to it, many feelings. It's just an observation. Now, float yourself all the way down onto the timeline. But I want you to make sure that you can see yourself in the picture. See yourself as if you're a bystander watching the scene. I want you to notice the look on your face. Notice the accomplishment. Notice what you hear people saying about you. Yeah. And then finally, I want you to associate. I want you to get inside yourself. So you're actually looking through your own eyes, listening through your own ears, and feeling your own feelings as they build and strengthen. And I wonder, what can you see? What can you hear? What can you smell? What can you taste? And what are you feeling? And notice where the feelings in your body are now. Right now. Good. So now standing as you, associated inside your own body in the future, I want you to turn all the way around so that you're looking back down along your timeline, so it's stretching out in front of you like that. And all the way down there in the distance, you can see yourself and the present moment. I want you to notice that between you and the present you, there are actually obstacles, things you had to overcome, and challenges. I want you to notice how they felt, how they look now, how they feel now when you've accomplished them and beat them. You may notice they're much smaller than they were before, much less of a barrier, much less of an obstacle. Now take all those feelings and emotions and thoughts and lock them deep inside your neurology, into every single cell and fibre, lock them in tight. And now give that string of the rope a tug and allow the balloon to take you up high again, up high, high above your timeline. And then when you're there, really high, well, you can just gently and casually float back, so you're hanging directly over the present moment now. And again, float back down to the rope, onto the timeline, so that you associate fully into yourself again once more. sitting there listening to me now. And as you pass back into yourself again, I want you to download all of those wonderful thoughts and feelings from having already accomplished this goal. Notice where the anxiety's gone. What's happened to the anxiety? In fact, you can try and bring it back if you like and notice what happens instead. Because it's really strange that the more you try, the harder it is. And the harder it is, the more tempted you'll be to try. But the harder you try, the further away it seems to move away as well, becoming an endlessly seamless task of chase. And eventually you just give up because the more you try, the harder it becomes. So 3, I'm going to count you back into the room in a moment. 2, you'll be nearly there, bringing with you all of those resources, feeling charged and excited about your new prospect that's coming up soon. And 1, allowing yourself to relax fully into the room right now, knowing that you have all the resources that you need at any one time in your life to achieve what exactly it is that you want to achieve right now. So I hope you enjoyed that little experience. I hope you found it pleasurable and enjoyable. And I hope that you share this video with your friends and your family and anybody else that may be feeling anxiety for any reason at all. You can look me up on Facebook, you can look me up on YouTube, and you can visit my website, yourlifeyourownway.co.uk. Speak to you soon and take care. Bye-bye.